This obviously came out over the weekend, and I haven't covered it yet because I've been letting it digest. Because we already saw the transcript, but now we're hearing it in his own voice. And I think the huge takeaway is that almost half of America is not only willing to elect a crook, but also somebody who's incredibly neglectful of our national security. This is scary as shit that he does this stuff, and that there are still people out there who are unabashedly zealots. I mean, honestly, they existed before he even ran. I've mentioned the story of how at one of the companies that I worked at, the HR director had a Trump bust in her office. And I discovered that in 2015 while he was running the first time around, while I was having to deal with an HR issue, at which point I lost entire confidence in the process.
We begin tonight with breaking news. We have obtained what is expected to be a central piece of the government's case against Donald Trump. The actual audio recording of the former president talking as if he's showing a highly classified document on U.S. war plans against Iran with people not clear to even know it exists, let alone what's in it. In a moment, only on CNN.
By the way, CNN content is somehow highly copyrighted by YouTube. So I don't know if I can get this up on YouTube. I might be able to get it up on Facebook.
And you will hear what jurors will hear one day. The recording was made 2 summers ago, July 2021, at the former president's club in Bedminster, New Jersey. You will clearly hear the former president as he is speaking to several people. According to the special counsel's indictment, they include a writer working on Mark Meadows' memoir, the publisher, and 2 of Trump's staff members. The president was aware he was being recorded. This is the first time it is being played publicly.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that.
What they're talking about is there were Hillary's camp did take some actions after Trump was elected to really fuck. I mean, she had no control over the transition, which that was Obama, right? And Obama cooperated and allowed the transition team to gain access to what they needed. But Hillary's team there was an entire ad campaign trying to convince the electors to switch their votes. And Martin Sheen was on it. There were several other, I think John Cusack, Messinger, what's her name? Messinger. There was a ton of celebrities that were on this commercial trying to convince the electors to switch their votes, and it totally backfired. There were some votes that got switched away from Trump, but the majority of the votes that got switched were Hillary votes that got switched to everything from like Bernie Sanders to there was there was like a Native American leader up in Washington State that ended up getting 3 votes. And so they did kind of kick off this disruption. I mean, they're not wrong in that assessment that there was disruption. I wouldn't call it a coup per se. They were, that was a dumbass thing to do, though. That was a dumbass thing to do. And then there was demonstrations on the the day that they were certifying the vote, which the January 6th insurrection would be mirroring that. There were some demonstrations, but they were totally demonstrations because it was a bunch of Congress people asking, I'm trying to remember how they did this. It was like they were asking for the counts to be disrupted, but they needed a senator to second it. They needed at least one senator, I think, and none of the senators were on board with this bullshit because they knew it was just a demonstration that we don't really want Trump to be our president. Okay, fine. They did not have a rally and encourage thousands of people to storm the Capitol. Kind of a big difference. But it was shitty, Hillary Clinton, that you made it so difficult that this impetulant child who holds grudges could never get past that.
Before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly.
How does it win your case? I mean, didn't we actually assassinate like a high-level Iranian official in Iraq? Is that what you're showing her? Is like the plans for that particular attack? Like, what is happening right now? And why would you be showing this to just like some unclassified, like she has no clearance level? Why would you be doing this? And why would Trump's supporters be like, yeah, this is totally cool. Let's back this dude who he just likes to show off, despite the fact that he has the top level security clearance and he's just willing to show it to anybody, right? He doesn't anymore, he still has a certain level of security clearance, which is why I don't think they're coming after him for just viewing the documents, right? Like, but his failure to return the documents is the problem here. And the fact that he's like, how, by the way, how do y'all get recorded so much? How do you have people in the room with recording devices at all times? Like, what's going on with you guys? I just don't even understand it.
Confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, Private email.
she'd send it to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible? Though?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the
You
papers.
did.
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified.
Yeah.
Now I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. We here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some
never
Cokes in, please.
With the Ralph's app, you can always save big on your.
I mean, I think that's pretty much like the whole recording. Obviously it's getting covered everywhere, right? And CNN somehow got an exclusive to it. So I guess it got leaked probably by one of the people in the room who was actually recording the conversation when it happened. This is apparently like the going to be entered into the Jack Smith prosecution of Trump for the documents, right? And yeah, it looks pretty terrible. Like, we had a narcissistic sociopath impetulant child in charge of the country for one term, and half of America, well, I don't know if it's that. You know what, polls are never right at the, like, this early in, and even when you get closer to the elections, they're not always right. But he is a bully, and he's gonna skip probably the first debate. All we can hope is that Chris Christie will take away from his base a bit, kind of beat him down a bit with some, because Chris Christie, he's got a hard case to prove here right now too, because he has Bridgegate, and he bent the knee to Trump. But once he prepped him for his debate with Biden back in 2020 and caught COVID from that motherfucker because dude didn't even tell him he had already tested positive, Chris Christie almost died on a ventilator. He's a little pissed, right? So Chris Christie is going to be hitting hard on that dude, and rightly so. But I don't think he has enough support after his misgivings to actually win the primary. I have no idea who's, like, I have no idea. I actually was talking to a very close friend last night and said, I think it's entirely possible that by next summer we're going to be seeing a race against that would be between Joe Biden and Chris Christie, because I think everybody's going to come after Trump at this point in the race. You got Mike Pence in there now, who's going to take the evangelicals away from him. I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope the dude ends up in prison, because this is some bullshit that we've had to deal with him for all this time.